Hello everybody, Naughty Nana Des here. How's everybody doing today? You can see a bit of my shirt, so I'll just do this. Love is love. We all need a little love, don't we? I'm going to do my second video of the day, and I still got those spots, so I'll still be darting around. Just got some good news though. The video I just put up, well, is being uploaded right now. It's going to be my 1,000th video. 1,000 videos. It's a lot of videos in 5 years, isn't it? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there you have it. Okay, now I'm going to go on about the next thing on my list is the DOJ. Considering who they were appointed by, they are not free to carry out the duties of any other DOJ. They can't be above board, free and clear of anything, and be a separate entity. They're not allowed to do that. Everything goes through the executive. I don't know how you can call him an executive. His branch is the executive, but he's a piss poor friggin' idea of an executive, just saying. So anyway, yeah, it's still Saturday. So let's do 1001th. Let's do that. Okay, so they have shown, DOJ, time and time again, that they will spend every waking hour they have to go after anyone and everyone that doesn't do exactly what the Mango Moose Knuckle wants. That means anyone who makes jokes about them, i.e. Mr. Colbert. Anyone who wants to teach what they want at their universities that are privately funded mostly, except for research. Yeah, no more DEI. Do what I say. What students are allowed to enroll in their universities. What visas they can give, and to what countries. Because we're going to have a Muslim ban, right? Can't have them coming in here. How friggin' terrible is this man? He's disgusting. Anyone who does not serve his warped agenda can be done away with. And we're seeing it on a daily friggin' basis. Just saying. All we'd have to do is just look at Jizlane Maxwell. You think you're safe agreeing to talk to these people, oh, Jizlane? Do you think you're really safe? I'd think again. And I would think really hard if you're going to talk to these folks again. Apparently, you were a good little soldier, Jizlane. I know it's Jizlane, but Jizlane is better for you. You were a good little soldier, and apparently you answered every single question. Over 8 hours of questioning over 2 days. I want to know what was in that big, I call them Tupperware boxes, the big square storage boxes there. That was full. And I noticed the guards weren't helping you in with it because I guess there's evidence in there that they can't touch. So were you given a bunch of files? Is that what it was? Given some files and some videotape that you can go over with later? Relive the crimes? That's just my mind thinking there. I would love to know what was in that big storage container that you had there. That nice clear one. Couldn't even give you a colored one. They gave you a clear one. And you could see that there was a lot of papers and stuff in there. So, you would have had some type of an agreement to do that, right? Because you weren't just going to do it. Because you've been begging for, ever since Trump opened his mouth, to get a new trial and have the Supreme Court declare a mistrial so you could get tried again. That's great for the victims. So I guess it didn't hurt that your lawyer, David Marcus, and Todd Blanche, Trump's personal attorney in a bunch of cases, until after he lost him, got him found guilty of 37 counts of, yeah, that's what made him a 34 count felon. Yeah, Todd Blanche was the lawyer for that. Still brought him on as deputy DOJ. That goes to tell you how crooked they are. But anyway, yeah, her lawyer and Todd Blanche are besties. And they're appearing on each other's podcasts and discussing the waves of the world, shall we say. They do that from time to time. Now, I don't know for sure, but I would not have a doubt in my military mind that the three of them, Todd Blanche, David Marcus, and the Mango Moose Knuckle, have been out on a golf course chatting it up a time or two. I wouldn't put that past them either. So I also believe that Jizlane was given a proffer agreement that allows her to spill the beans on what happened, and it wouldn't they wouldn't be able to charge her for anything that she says during that sit down. It does not mean that if she's lying that they can't pull that proffer and F her over. A proffer agreement is not a permanent offer of immunity. The protection it provides is specifically for the information shared during the proffer session and is supposed to be limited to the context of that particular meeting. And providing that she is truthful and cooperates, the government usually agrees not to use that information against her. I wouldn't trust them. No way. If her lawyer has grand plans to join Blanche and Blondie there in the DOJ, she could get screwed over. I hope she does. Like, I'm not going to bat for her here. And if Jizlane gave them information on 100 names, I can bet $1 to a donut that they are on Trump's enemy list somewhere. And I can also bet $1 to a donut that not one of those names on that list is a registered Republican. Just saying. There is no way she will get a full pardon. They couldn't do that. There's no friggin' way. They're on the high horse, save the children and all the rest of the stuff against pedophiles and everything else. He lets her out. Whoo, Jesus. But she may get a reduced sentence and have it be served at one of those country club types, where they have 9 holes at golf, they have tennis, all that stuff, and computers, private rooms. Yeah, that's where she'll end up doing her time, in my opinion. But then they can also just call it a day and say, sorry, fuck off, you're going to stay where you are because we don't care. We don't care. So that could happen. And that's probably what probably will happen because you don't trust those people. After all, in my opinion, this was all a show. That's all it was. They have truckloads, according to Pam Bondi herself, truckloads of information and hundreds of thousands of hours of videotape and recorded conversations that they could go to. They didn't need to go to her. They had it out of the horses' mouths, for Christ's sake. They didn't have to go to her at all. They had, maybe they could ask one of those, the 1,000 FBI agents that worked all through March, 24/7, going line by line, and making sure the Mango Moose Knuckle, if his name's there, they flagged it. They must have got writer's cramp flagging them, or from sticking those little red flags on the corners of those papers like they do at a law office. Yeah, those things. Yeah, to go line by line through those files, they must have been wore the hell out. It's all smoke and mirrors bullshit. That's all it is. Because they have all the information. They don't need her. But they need to appease their base, which are a bunch of sick fucks, in my opinion. They're all shady. And in my opinion, with a very guilty president who appointed people to top posts who are far less squeaky clean than the average Joe out there. He has something on all of them. But there are folks walking around in civilian life that have details. And I'm thinking of the Doge bags there with all their little thumb drives that they were plugging into secret terminals and taking over restricted floors in government buildings. Yeah, I'm thinking some of them civilian boys also have the complete Epstein file on those thumb drives. They also have information on Epstein. They have the Trump stuff. They have Dershowitz, probably Clinton, and who knows who else, whether they had anything to do with violating children or not. He just wants names. He doesn't, as long as it's associated with Epstein. Like, if Epstein went to a charity event or something, he's going to crucify them. They know the truth about Russia. They've got all that stuff. About Trump bribing Ukraine to get so he can get dirt on Biden for the election. Yeah, I think they have all that information, and one day it's going to come out and they're going to sell it to the highest effing bidder. That's my thing. Okay, then there's the DOJ and Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, who was indicted for accepting bribes and committing fraud in a long-running scheme to enrich himself. He allegedly accepted illegal gifts worth over $100,000 from Turkish citizens and at least one Turkish government official. He was allegedly given cheap flights to no matter where he was going, and he always had a stopover. No matter where the flight went, there was always a stopover in Turkey with 5-star accommodations, gratis, and sightseeing and stuff. Yeah, they treated him like anything. Then out of the clear blue sky, the DOJ files a motion to drop all those charges. How fucking convenient was that? The zombie vampire, Bove, the guy that looks like he's already dead but hasn't fallen over. Yeah, in early February, he said the indictment restricted the mayor's ability to address illegal immigration and violent crime in the city. So Bove ordered local federal prosecutors to drop the charges, and as a result, I think 8 of them said, F you, this guy's guilty and we're going to prosecute him. They walked off the job and they quit, and they talked about it. They were all called into a room before these guys walked, and they were threatened that they would be fired if they did not comply. Then Homeland Security, Icehead there, Hobag, he paraded Adams. Oh my God, he had him just dancing on the end of little strings, little marionette puppet there. He dragged him in front of every Fox News camera talk show that he could get him on, and he threatened him openly on one of the talk shows, saying to the show's host that nudges Adams and goes, yeah, and if he doesn't do what we want, basically let us run roughshod through the city of New York, we'll slap him with those charges again. But the thing about that, I dropped my fancy stick. The thing about that is, however, a judge in that case put an end to that. So they can't recharge him, unfortunately. Said, yeah, no, you can't do that. You drop the charge, they're done. You can't recharge him. So what's done is done. So they had Adams in front of Gracie Mansion doing a little, they're trying to screw me. They're all lying on me and everything else. And here he holds up Kash Patel's book. And he's saying, and I recommend everybody read that. How much free advertising can Cash App get? He's already got the director of the FBI job. How much more smoke do you have to blow up his ass? Just wondering. But yeah, I guess that was one of the little check marks he had to sign off on. So everybody should read this, right? Now that he has effed around, he's about to find out, because the DOJ is now going to sue him because they can't recharge him on that other stuff. They decided they're going to charge him. They're going to sue Eric Adams, claiming the city sanctuary policies are impeding federal immigration enforcement. That suit was filed in Brooklyn and maintains provisions of city law that reflects the city's intentional efforts to obstruct. There you go. To obstruct the United States enforcement of immigration law by, among much else, impeding the consultation and communication between the federal and local law enforcement officials that is necessary for the United States to enforce the law and keep America safe. That was a little thing that they talked to Eric Adams about, and they think he went back on his agreement. So this, in my opinion, is retaliation for the off-duty Customs and Border Patrol officer. He was shot in New York in Riverside Park. There were, as Kristi Noem, the goat killer, says, 2 unauthorized immigrants. I guess they gave up on illegal aliens. Now they're unauthorized immigrants, which is much better, in my opinion. But yeah, by 2 unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested multiple times in the city, 4 times apparently, according to Kristi the Goat Assassin. They have since been arrested. The officer is healing and expected to make it. So now Adams is being made to dance the tune, whatever the dicks, whatever the DOJ dictates him to dance to. So they're making sure that he won't be the next mayor, which is also one more thing that they didn't tell him that they were going to do. They just effed him over so hard. I wonder if his back hurts from leaning over. I'm just wondering. They're all crooked as fuck. The whole Trump regime. So that's the 1001th video. Night, Nana loves you. Be good, be safe, please. Be good to you first. We're going to need strength to get through this. So here's your big hug. Here's your big hug. I love you so much. Hangers on, I appreciate each and every one of you. Newcomers, love me, like me, share me. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe. It's okay to come by and push the like, but subscribe helps us get it out further. Anyway, I'm just really thrilled that I'm over 1,000 videos. That's pretty cool. So anyway, take care of you. I love you all. Be safe.